Hi guys, welcome back. Getting better by accident.
Getting beaten by accident.
Fucking trying to do my Australian accent there. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you make sure you get notified when we're going to release a new video, and leave comments below with your thoughts on what we're talking about today. Hammer and nail. I think before we go into it, do you want to explain what the hammer and the nail theory or concept is?
Yeah, what we mean by being the hammer or the nail is if you're kind of like a newish type student, you're gonna be the nail for a couple of years, and I say that lightly. It's going to be quite a few years.
Yeah.
I know that you probably you might be listening thinking, well, I don't think that's going to be a few years. Trust me, it's going to be a few years. And I mean the hammer, as in like a higher belt, someone that's gone through those years of being the nail, that's actually being the hammer, nailing the lower students day to day training. And the topic we want to talk about is being okay, being the nail, and earning the spot to be the hammer. When the time is right, but also then not being disrespectful by being the hammer as well.
Yeah. And also, one thing that I'd probably touch on is you can also volunteer to be the nail.
Yeah.
To work on areas that need working on. Yeah. So I might as well go straight in. So if your side control escapes with shit, you need time spent being the nail in bottom side control.
Yeah.
Even if you're a purple belt, brown belt, black belt, you need to put yourself on voluntarily be the nail to be able to improve on those skills.
Definitely. Can't just keep avoiding those bad pin positions, can you?
No, and it's only going to make you a shitter grappler in the long run.
Yeah. I think so many people come in the gym and just want to be the hammer. It's unreal. You should want to come in and be the nail actually, and develop those skills and put yourself in bottom side control, work your bottom half guard, work your mount escapes, work your back control escapes, and that's going to make you a more confident grappler, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. I think as well, quoting Lion King here, fucking cycle of life or circle of life of, if you want your training partners to get better so that you get better in the long run and you have more challenging rounds and you're able to further develop yourself, you're going to have to kind of sometimes let your training partners be the hammer against you.
Yeah.
So I say it's something that I try and do at least a couple of times a week with my rounds of giving less experienced players a lot more rope to hang themselves with. I mean, sometimes they do fall into the traps and hang themselves, but I'll let them get and again, when I say let, I'm not just sort of lay there just fucking like a zombie or fuck all. I'm making them work. So if I'm aware that one of the students is guard pass to side control and side control pins aren't quite what they need to be, join our round with them, I'm going to play guard and I'm going to make them work that guard pass into the side control pin, and I'm going to be the nail. But also, there's a bit of the thingy on there where it's I'm kind of almost hammering them while they're being the nail because I'm forcing them to work on their weaknesses.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a massive two-way street.
Yeah. We don't mean hammer as well by being a bully.
No.
We mean actually just being the dominant person, whether that's bottom or top.
Yeah.
You're just dominating your training partner. That's what we mean by hammer. And we mean the nail as in the less dominant training partner and being comfortable being the nail.
Yeah. And there's a lot of benefits you'll get from being the nail. Your resilience is gonna fucking fly up. You can't be fighting out of hard positions and not become a more resilient person. You're gonna pick up what your training partners are doing to you. So if they're really good at pinning and you're recognizing that they're doing X, Y, and Z to keep you pinned down for longer, why not take it and use it in your next round with your next opponent?
Yeah.
There's a lot to take away from being the nail. And I think it's very, very underestimated.
Yeah, and not everyone gets out alive
No.
from being the nail.
No.
People quit.
Yeah.
It's quite unspoken, I would say, in grappling. People, they get in that car one day and they just say, fuck this, I'm out of here, I'm not coming back.
And, like, sometimes, like, I won't really hold that against someone, to be fair. Like,
Yeah.
At least they've come in, give it a go.
It's about a crack, haven't they?
Yeah, and they've kind of gone, do you know what? I'm not cut out for it, or it's not for me.
Yeah.
And fair play. They're doing 10 times better than those that are sat fucking watching UFC, barking instructions about just stand up, just stand up.
Yeah.
But they've never stepped in.
When on the ground.
Yeah, but they've never stepped into a gym and thrown a punch or tried to pin somebody.
Yeah.
So like, I'll always respect that person. But if that is you, you're just quitting on yourself. Like, you're missing out on a lot of the personal development you can get through going through the hardship and then developing your problem solving skills whilst like being the nail, because no one's going to help you out of it. Well, they probably will help you out a little bit, but they're not going to tell you how to get out because they want to win that round.
They'll help you, but you've got to be the driver, haven't you?
Exactly. Yeah.
We can't do it for you. We can't get you out of bottom side control.
No.
Unless you're happy enough being there for long enough.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So don't be a pussy and just be alright being the nail.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No, but I think there's definitely, there's a lot to be said, because when you're the nail, a lot of the time, quite a lot of people get frustrated being the nail, and they'll kind of and they'll grunt and they'll get frustrated by being in bad positions, and us as being higher belts, we don't say anything to them, but we're like, you just, you're not helping yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be making noises to power out of things.
No.
I know you might be suffering underneath this. That's a different conversation, but hold that energy in and just relax, because you are going to lose.
Yeah, 100%.
So,
and you'll wilt so much faster than tense you are. If you can relax, your energy's going to last you so much longer.
Yeah. And also, what I don't think they realise is, if the roles were reversed and we're grunting and getting frustrated and like, you got me, they'd feel disrespected.
Yeah.
As well. So like, being the hammer is earned.
Yeah.
It's not given.
No.
No one walks into a gym, obviously, unless they've been training for a few years, no one walks into a submission grappling gym and submits everyone.
No.
Or submits 80% of the gym. They've earned the right of being the nail for years and years and years. Have been the white belt.
Yeah.
You've been the white belt. I've been the white belt. We've been the weakest in the room. Embrace being the weakest in the room.
Yeah. To be fair, probably one of the most advantageous positions to be in, being the weakest in the room, because you've got so much more room for growth.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're the top of the room or you're getting to the top of the room, that ceiling of growth can get smaller and smaller, depending on how you train there and how you like structure everything.
Yeah.
If you come in and you're at the bottom run, you've got so much room to grow. And like, a really good thing to look at is look at the top guys in the room, and you could be like, they were how I was one day.
Yeah.
And they've worked to get to that point. Now, if I continue on this path, I'm going to work towards where they're at. And you can physically see what you're working towards when you're in here.
Yeah.
Like, you can see the skill set of the good blue belts, the good purples, the good brown belts, the black belts. Like, you can see it and you know what you're working towards. So it's like, if you frame it that way when you step into the room, you have that first class, you've given yourself so much more to aspire to.
Yeah.
As opposed to, fucking hell, I'm going to get beat up now for an hour.
Yeah. And set those little goals with those higher belts. If you're a white belt, work on, dominating that blue belt that always beats you, or at least gaining some traction toward beating them. A couple of positions here or there, a couple of little wins, which would be good.
No, definitely. Now, being the hammer, Like, are there any considerations you take when you're being the hammer with when there's like a noticeable difference in experience?
No, just twat them.
Fair.
I'm joking, obviously. Oh,
Or is
definitely.
it?
Oh, definitely. Like, I just go super light, and they probably don't think that I am.
Yeah.
But yeah, just try moves. Like I was trying a berimbolo with you yesterday, and
Yeah.
I tried it on Ant, who's a blue belt, and I tried it on a couple of white belts. A berimbolo from, obviously bottom position. I just try shit out and give them space.
Yeah.
And if they bark, I'll bite them.
Yeah. Yeah.
if they start grunting and elbowing me, I'll give them a bit of pressure and remind them, what they're dealing with. But yeah, just you have a responsibility to be a hammer, and I think in most gyms, people take advantage of being a hammer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have a responsibility to bring the lower belts up the right way and not be a cunt while you're the hammer. Because they'll remember it. They won't forget it.
No.
You don't want to be a bully.
No.
Sure.
No. Like, nobody likes fucking bullies. And I think as well, like, part of the hammer as well, like, you want these guys to catch up to you because that's only going to make your training better. And the better your training partners are, and the quicker you can drag up the white belts to a decent standard, your training sessions are going to be so much more like fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of being the hammer as well is providing relevant feedback after rounds.
Yeah.
Or one thing that I'll do personally is if I've had somebody pinned for a minute and a half and they've not got to the grunting stage, but I can sort of see them kind of going,
frustrated.
I'm stuck. I'll back off a little bit and then I'll be like, here's what you are doing right now. What are you doing? What can you change here to improve your escape?
Yeah.
If you can't get it, I might be a little bit more direct with my clues, but I won't give them the escape, but I guide them to some sort of way to get out of there.
Yeah.
To then now work back, and then I can be a bit of a dick. I will go straight back to that position and see if they remember what we've just spoken about. Probably say half the time they forget, which I'm not going to tell you again during the same round, so I'm going to keep you there.
Yeah.
If they don't forget, fucking great. You've learnt something, you've improved, and now the quality of our round has got better.
Yeah. I think the fact that you're even talking to your students is like, not all coaches do that. Even,
good point, actually, yeah.
Even when they're rolling with the students, they're like, oh, it's just a white belt. I'll just submit him 10 times and I'll walk off.
Like,
you've got to coach them, haven't you?
Yeah.
Don't just bark.
And I think, like, for me, this is a little bit off subject, but like, I got into coaching and opening the gym partially for a selfish reason of I want to be able to train whenever I want with good people and at a good standard. So I'm essentially trying to build up my own training partners. Yeah. Like, so they're more teammates than students. Obviously, there's a student coach dynamic there, but I'm looking at them more as teammates, and the better that they get, the more fun I have when I'm here.
Yeah.
And as selfish as that sounds, that's all I want. And if you guys are enjoying it and having fun, I'm having fun, everyone's a fucking winner.
But I think people here at Hive appreciate the skill, like, really well as well.
Yeah.
Because of your approach, they're not just thinking, oh, because Si's bigger than me, or because Johnny's bigger than me, or Big Sam or Jerry, or they're stronger than, certain size bodies in the room.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh, that's why they're winning. They're seeing that we're catching them with leg locks or rolling back takes, or it's technical, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the ability to roll as a 90 or 100 kilo player with a 60 or 70 kilo player.
Yeah.
And not feel like you're nearly twice their weight.
Yeah.
Like, and that there is a skill in itself to learn. And if you're in that transition of being the hammer, for me, that skill is the most important one to have at the moment. Because you're going to have more experience with newer white belts. You need to know how to give them room to develop whilst also developing your own skills.
Yeah. Jiu-Jitsu, you can learn a lot from that, can't it?
Yeah.
And just smashing your training partners.
Yeah. But still a slightly ego-driven sport, which I kind of like sometimes because the ego drives the pursuit to improve, as long as you know how to like control it and tame it.
Yeah, nice one.
Thanks for listening to that, guys. If you've made it this far, make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment below, and send this to the person who is your nail.